Hello and welcome to another episode of Off the Rock, your weekly rugby breakdown with me, John Ferguson, and today I am joined by a very special guest here at Daceyville, Isaac Aedo from the Waratahs. Thank you so much for taking some time away from your busy day. I know it's getting to the season proper. How are you feeling about the season ahead?
I'm pretty excited, my first real proper full pre-season with the team. I think, we've got an exciting young group, a lot of experience, especially with the Wallaby boys coming back. So yeah, looking forward to it.
So, a full first pre-season, it must have been your first one for a little while because you've been in and around the Wallabies squad now and you've had some Wallabies caps. How does it change kind of your mentality around your approach into the Waratahs year for 2026 being part of the actual pre-season?
I think it's just more time connecting with the boys, building those connections on the field and off the field. I think, the tighter we are as a bunch, the better we get out of each other. So yeah, just that time with them. Like I said, it's going to be an exciting year. So hopefully, that bit of extra, connection as a group really pays off.
How is the scrum feeling now heading into this year? Because obviously you've let go of Angus Bell doing a sabbatical with Ulster in the URC, and then you've also unfortunately lost Taniela Tupou to Racing 92. Obviously two quite experienced, like about the same age as you, at least Angus as well. But how is it losing that experience? But then also how exciting is it having the guys that you have in the squad right now for scrummaging?
Well, obviously those two in particular were very important to our set piece as well as Porky. That's pretty much.
Dave
Parecki.
Yeah, Dave Parecki. Yeah. If you guys don't know him as Porky, that's Dave Parecki.
It's a lot of experience we've lost, but that also just gives chances for other guys to sort of step up and fill that role. We've got guys like Dan Both, Sifar Monet at tight head now, and then myself, Lambert, Jack Barrett coming through. So I just think of it as another chance for us to gain experience, and when Belly comes back, who knows what Nelly's doing. So when they come back, it's sort of a seamless transition and we all gain a bit more experience. So that only means we all get better and the training becomes more competitive, and then the games become a little bit easier as well.
Nella's probably off doing Nella things as he probably always does. But what do you want to bring into 2026? Because obviously I'm sure that you want to play as many minutes as you can for the Waratahs. Last year didn't quite get as many opportunities as you got as the Rebels the year before, where you really demanded selection and were playing a lot of big minutes, being really integral in the Rebels scrum efforts and being part of their driving force forward. What's your goal and what do you hope to bring into, or perhaps rather, what have you changed about your game to be able to really ensure that you're playing as many minutes for the Waratahs as you can this year?
I wouldn't say I had changed much about my game. I think I've worked a lot with Dan Palmer this pre-season on my scrums, which I think, obviously as a front row, it's our job pretty much. It's if you can't scrum or you can't at least hold it up, you're not getting picked. So I think just working on that especially, but probably more so my mentality. I think last year I sort of came in a bit comfortable. I was at Melbourne for a long time and it was all I really knew. So coming into a new environment, new coaches and everything, I think I came in with just a bit of entitlement, especially having such a big year the year before. I didn't really sort of build that relationship and that trust. So hopefully, a bit more time with pre-season this year. Not only with connections with the players, but also the staff. So, I wouldn't say much about my game. It's probably more mentality and what I'm actually doing at training, being a bit more focused.
And I think what a lot of people are realising now and more they get into elite sport and rugby's really getting to the elite level, like the mental side of the game is so important. And you got players here like Joseph Akusa-Suli. He speaks a lot about his mental and his visualisation, his mental side of the game and whatnot. So that's really cool to hear that that's a part of the game that also needs to be worked at, because as you said, and as we've seen, such a huge kind of runway for you, like really breaking out in that the year before, 2024, and being a good ball carrier, and then now working on scrummaging in the mental side of it with Dan Palmer, who's the scrum coach here, who's very decorated and a very trusted scrum coach. But for you guys as a team, how do you feel like things are changing from the first year under Dan McKellar? And as you say, you've built better relationships throughout the squad, coaching staff and players as well, then changing into kind of the feel for 2026.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned, how comfortable I was the year before, my mindset. I think this year, everyone across the board is a lot more comfortable with, executing their role. The competitiveness on the field, like the training sessions are probably the most competitive I've been a part of. You mentioned like Angus Bell, Taniela, there's Lungy Gleeson, a lot of really experienced guys have gone on, and I think that opens up spots for other boys, and I think as a team we've realised that, we've definitely become a lot more competitive in the sessions.
So that's all the rugby side of it, and that's what we really want to hear about, because competition, that steel sharpens steel, that's freaking awesome. And I think a lot of people at the Waratahs are kind of keen to see a bit of angriness about the team, because it is such a big state and it is such a big hub of rugby, and obviously you coming from Melbourne and changed environments, and then now kind of more gelling of the group. That's really awesome to hear. We're going to get the people to get to know you a little bit better now. So a couple of rapid fire questions for yourself. So if you were to play a video game against anyone at the Waratahs and you had to win, it's a life or death situation, what game would you be picking? And then who's your opponent?
I'll go FIFA.
He's a FIFA man.
And pretty much anyone could get it. I'll go. I'll back myself there. We had our camp recently, and we were doing 2v2s. Not really my game, but me and the other Isaac here, Isaac Fanua, the young boy, partnered up, and I think we ran through the team. Teddy Wilson, Dan, both were a bit of chirp, but when it came down to the crunch time, I'd say Isaac stood up, and we got a win. But solo, anyone.
Game time. You guys have heard it here first. Call him out in the comments. Play him in his off days. Yeah. And then in your off days, what's an ideal off day for you? You've just had a great win with the Waratahs. You get a day off. What are you doing? What's an ideal situation for you? What's an ideal day off?
Big sleep in. So I probably wake up usually around 7 o'clock to get into training. So a day off. If I can get out of bed, if I can wake up at 9 and then get out of bed at 9:30, I'm pretty happy with that. Like I mentioned, I love gaming, so PlayStation, games with the boys, 2K, anything like that really, and then just sort of getting out for breakfast as well with my girlfriend. So purely relaxing. I'm not really much of a outdoorsy type, going for hikes or anything like that, which I think my girlfriend is. So. Unlucky for her.
You get enough mileage through the legs.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I tell her that as well. So, it's been pretty good. I just relax on Muzz.
So, ladies, he's taken. Boys, line up in the FIFA rack. He's going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Then, just quick touch on your background. You're half Tongan, half Chilean, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Do you feel strongly connected to those two cultures, and do you feel like that's a big part of who you are?
Yeah, definitely. I think a big reason of why I play sport, any sports really growing up in Melbourne, was definitely due to my dad, who's the Tongan part of my genes, I'd guess. Just rugby is pretty much in the DNA, I think, with them. Didn't really play much soccer, which I'd say is probably more my mom's side, the Chilean side, which I think she would be a bit disappointed with. But I think growing up, she sort of grew to love rugby just as much as my dad did, and just as much as myself and my brothers did.
Mm. And now Chile have got a pretty decent rugby side, so that's pretty cool. It's not only soccer. So toda la gente de mira de fútbol y rugby, miramos el rugby, el 2027, el Copa Mundial aquí, por favor.
Sí.
That's how good his Spanish is. And then last question for you, Isaac. If you could play with any player of any time, dead or alive, who would it be and why? And now we're making a team. So Harry Johnson-Holmes has picked a player. Dan McKellar's picked a player. Matt Fesler's picked a player. So we have Jerry Collins at 6, Todai Kefu at number 8, Dan Carter at number 10, and Izzy Folau at fullback. So you can't pick any of those positions or players. But apart from that, dead or alive, who would you play? Who would you want to play with?
So could you just say the 4 that have been named again?
Todai Kefu, Jerry Collins, Dan Carter, and Israel Folau.
Okay.
So what position would you put this player in, and why would you want to play with them? Any player, dead or alive?
Wow, that's a really good team actually already. I'll go. Oh, John Olomu. Yeah, put him on the wing. Just some ball runner.
Left, like putting him 11, putting him 14.
No, he's got to be 11.
All right. Jonah Lomi, that's a stacked side. You guys better be scared. You're shaking in your boots. Well, Isaac, I think everyone's just really keen for the season to actually finally start. This is the final episode of this, where I get the last player, which is from the Waratahs here. And I think everyone's just kind of keen to really rip in and to finally watch some rugby. They get to watch some rugby now with the trials, obviously.
Yeah.
But just quickly, how keen are you to get into actually starting to play now? Because obviously it's been a long preseason.
Yeah, it has been a long preseason. Just super keen, really. Get some minutes under the belt. I know quite a lot of the guys up in Queensland. So, yeah, just we've been bashing ourselves pretty much the whole pre-season. So, maybe a bad choice of words. But it's been good. So, yeah, finally getting able to tackle and test ourselves against, a different team, blow the cobwebs out. It'd be quite exciting.
And yeah, you guys are all going to see it on Stan, and guys, so good that you caught up with Isaac. So Isaac, thanks so much, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Cheers, bro. Thank
good
you.
luck in the season. And for all you guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and then of course, enjoy the Rugby World, the Super Rugby Pacific competition starting very soon. And then, of course, we'll be doing a Super Rugby Pacific preview as well. So all of you, bye for now. Ciao. All right, well, there you have it. That's the interview with Isaac Kailea, and I'm just so stoked that he was really kind of candid and really open about how his journey's been, what he's really learned in the Waratahs environment, and then also about himself in recent times. And it was just so cool to get an insight to what he does on his day off. And he's just a guy like all of us, footy head, but he's going to come for you guys in FIFA as well. So if you don't watch out, but really, really awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I hope you liked the series. Make sure you go back and watch it. Hopefully, I'm going to get this on Spotify very soon. But also like, subscribe, mate. Guys, I'm putting good time, good effort into these interviews, researching, being able to get here and to be able to coordinate well with the media team. So make sure that you like, subscribe, share the video with everyone leading into the Super Rugby Pacific season, and fingers crossed we make this the greatest Super Rugby Pacific year so far of the competition, with lots of engagement from you guys, but especially just everyone enjoying their rugby. So until then, ciao for now.